Hey, Roger, Brooks, Jaden, all my Fix-It friends, you guys ready to go on another Fix-It adventure? Alright, I hope you're having very few problems marking your papers. You probably got them all. Let's see what you did. Okay, so let's read the story first. Although many tried to alleviate her suffering, the princess received no relief. After a time, the old soldier clothed himself quite sprucely as a doctor. He announced he could perfectly restore her since he had special skill. First, it's time she was humbled a little, thought the wise soldier sensibly. All right. Sentence 1 begins with although, which is a clause opener. It's a subordinating conjunction, one of your Asia words, Asia B words. It needs to be capitalized, but we're not indenting here. Many tried is a verb. To alleviate is a infinitive verb, which we're not marking. But what does alleviate mean? It means to lessen or make easier, or easier to endure. Okay. So her is a pronoun, suffering is a noun. The is an article, princess is a noun. Received is a verb. No is an adjective here. What is no describing? Relief, which is a noun. How much relief? No relief. And don't forget your period. All right, day 2. Here we have an indentation, so we need to put our paragraph symbols so we remember to indent when we rewrite. Capitalize the word after because it's the beginning of the sentence. And here we have a prepositional phrase. So underline after a time. After is the preposition. A is an article. Time is a noun. The is an article. Old is an adjective describing what? Soldier, which is a noun. Clothed is a verb. Himself is a pronoun. Sprucely is an ly adverb. You can tell that usually if it ends in ly, it's often an ly adverb. But what does it mean? Sprucely means neatly or smart in appearance or dress. So have you ever heard the term he got all spruced up? That's what that same word means. As is a preposition, a is an article, and doctor is a noun. Here's another prepositional phrase, so underline that, as a doctor. Period. All right, number 3. He announced he could perfectly restore her since he had special skill. He is a pronoun, capitalize it because it's the beginning of a sentence. Announced is a verb. He is a pronoun. Could is a verb. Perfectly is an ly adverb. Restore is a verb. What is perfectly describing? It's describing how he's going to restore her perfectly. And also notice that could is a helping verb. Could restore. Her is a pronoun. Since is a clausal opener, an Asia B word, a subordinating conjunction. He is a pronoun. Had is a verb. Special is an adjective and skill is a noun. Period. All right, we have a new paragraph here. Okay, this because we have someone speaking. Indent, capital F, and the word first. We're going to use this its, which means it is. It is time she was humbled a little. It is a pronoun, and the S stands for is, which is a helping verb. It's not a helping verb this time. It can be a helping verb. Time is a noun. She is a pronoun. Was is a verb. Humbled is a verb. There's your helping verb. Was humbled. A is an article, and little is a noun. Normally little you'd think of as an adjective, but in this case it is a noun. Whenever you have an article, you know that what comes after it is most likely a noun. Thought is a verb. The is an article. Wise is an adjective, and soldier is a noun. Sensibly, another ly adverb with a period at the end. Now what is sensibly telling about? What the soldier thought. He thought how the soldier thought. He thought sensibly. All right. So that is all of our sentences. And you know what humbled means, I'm sure. To be lowered in position or power or importance. Have you ever felt humbled before? Well, the princess is about to get humbled by the wise soldier. All right, I want to point out one word in particular, as a doctor. Now, as is also one of the Asia B words, right? So this word as can be used as a preposition as it is here, or it can be used as a subordinating conjunction, an Asia clausal opener. And the way you can tell is it's a preposition if it is followed by a noun or a pronoun, as doctor, okay? If it was followed by a subject and a verb, as the doctor opened the door, then it would be used as a clausal opener, a subordinating conjunction. Okay, so a subordinating conjunction or an Asia B clausal opener has to have a subject and a verb after it, and this does not, so this is a preposition. Okay. So, how did you do? Did you do as well as you were hoping? I hope you did. All right, let's move on to our new writing project. And if you don't already have your books, your workbooks open, you can pause the video now and get them open and turn them to page, 120. Okay, we're going to be writing what's called a research paragraph. Now, normally when you write a research paper or research paragraph, you have to use several different sources to get your information from. So let's say you're writing a research paper on wilderness survival. Okay, you might look at a book like this, and you might get some information from this book. You might get some notes, some facts, some statistics from this book, but you can't just use one source when you're writing a research paper or a paragraph. So then you might look at another book, maybe something like this. And then you'd look through this book and you'd pick out some facts about what you wanted to write in your paper, and then you would write those facts down. Maybe you'll look up an internet article and you add all of your facts together, and then you write your paper or your paragraph. Well, that's what we're going to be doing, except we're not writing a paper, we're just be writing a paragraph. And this is just a little example of what you're going to be doing. Pretend you have a book here and a book here. We'll call this source text 1 and source text 2. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to read source text 1, and you're going to copy down some facts or notes from this source text that you would like to include in your final outline for your paragraph. Excuse me. Okay, so you'll write down, this is on page 122, as a matter of fact, in your book here. Okay, you'll see on page 122 it's got keyword notes, and this is where you're going to be writing it. I have typed out some pages to look like that so you can see what I'm doing here. But you'll take all the information you want to get out of source text 1, and you'll write the notes here. Just like a keyword outline, you're going to use no more than 3 words per line. You can use numbers and symbols, of course. And you can choose up to 6 to 7, 8 if you want, things that you would like to use from this source text to write what's called your fused keyword outline. Well, I'll explain fused keyword outline in a minute. After you've taken your notes from this source text, you're going to look at the next source text and take your notes from that source text down here. You'll pick and choose, I want this fact and that fact and that fact, and you'll write them down here. After you've completed taking your notes from source text 1 and source text 2, you're going to look at your 2 lists of notes or facts, and you're going to choose which ones of these that you want to use on your final outline. This is going to be your keyword outline. It's called a fused keyword outline because you're fusing together notes from this text and the notes from this text. You may pick 4 notes from here And when I say note, I mean a line of words. And when I say note or fact, I'm just talking about one line worth of words. So you may pick 4 notes from here and maybe 3 from here, giving you a total of 7 on here. Or you can pick 4 from here and 4 from here, or 2 from here and 5 from here. However, whatever combination you want to get a fused keyword outline. Okay, we're fusing these two into one. Now in the past, you've just done keyword outlines from a source text by themselves. But now we're going to take 2 source texts and fuse them into one. And this is what it's going to look like. Here's the first source text, and I've just retyped it. This is in your book on page 120. And this is called The City Named Rome. You're going to write a paragraph about the city of Rome and how it came to be. And this is your first source text 1. Then you have another source text on page 122. On page 121, excuse me. And this one is entitled Rome's Beginnings. And this one has a little bit different information than source text 1. Okay? So let's read through your source texts, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to do the outline. It's very similar to doing a keyword outline. The city named Rome. Ancient Rome is one of the greatest empires that ever existed. There is a legend about how it came to be. Twin baby brothers named Romulus and Remus were heirs to the throne of their settlement. Their evil uncle, left them in a basket on the bank of the Tiber River to stop them from ruling. They were rescued by a wolf and later raised by a shepherd. When they grew up, they wanted to build a city in the place they had been rescued. As they were planning the city, they fought, and Remus was killed. Romulus built the city and became the king. The city was named, of course, Rome. And this is a picture of Romulus and Remus, the 2 brothers. You can see the Roman writing here and here. But this is one story about the legend of Romulus and Remus and the starting of the city of Rome. Now, what I did was I highlighted in yellow the facts that I wanted to use on my 2 outlines. Well, this is the source text 1 outline, this is the source text 2 outline. Let's go over the first one. Okay, the topic is how Rome began, and that's going to be the same on both of your outline notes here. Okay, so what I did was I highlighted the key words or the key facts that I want to add to my notes. So the first thing I want to say is something about a legend of Romulus and Remus. Okay, and so that's what I put on my first line. This is my first note or fact. There was a legend about Romulus and Remus. Okay, for my second note or fact, I'm going to tell about how they were heirs to the throne of their settlement. So I'm going to put heirs to throne settlement. All right, and my third fact will be something about their uncle leaving them on the Tiber River. So I put uncle left Tiber R, stands for river, and you can put water there. It'll help you remember. And if you wanted to put, a mean face here, you could, to show that he was an evil uncle. Whatever helps you remember. All right, and next I wanted to say something about the fact that they were rescued by a wolf and raised by a shepherd. So I put rescued wolf, raised sh. I only have 3 words, right? So this one has to be an abbreviation or some sort of picture or symbol. After that, I want to put something about when they grew up. They wanted to build a city, but they fought. Okay, so they grew up and planned a city. I'm not using the word build because they didn't build the city yet. They were just planning it before Remus died. All right, and then the next fact that I want to include is that Remus was killed. They fought and Remus was killed and Romulus became the king. So fought, Remus, and you can, whatever kind of picture you want to draw here to indicate that he died, and Romulus, king. Okay, so each line here contains a fact or a note. Heirs to the throne of their settlement. Their uncle left them on the river. They were rescued by a wolf. Each of these is a fact or a note. So if I say note or fact, I mean the same thing. So you can see how it's like a keyword outline. You still only use 3 words plus any numbers or symbols or pictures. Okay, so now let's look at your second source text, and this is on page 121. All right, and this is called Rome's Beginnings. The city of Rome began with small communities of Latin-speaking shepherds. They had settled around 7 hills in Italy near the Tiber River. The river helped them become very successful farmers and traders. Soon they joined together to form a powerful army to protect themselves and to invade surrounding villages. The first king, Romulus, began to rule in 753 BC. Over time, the city grew into an enormous empire because the Romans cunningly governed the people they conquered. Then legends and myths began to be told about its beginnings. The most famous is the legend that says Rome was started by Romulus. He and his brother were twin boys who were supposed to have been raised by a wolf. When Remus was killed in a fight, Romulus became the king of the soon-to-be great city. All right, again, I've taken and I've underlined, or I've highlighted in yellow, the words that I want to use on my note-taking keyword outline. So let's go to the second outline here, and notice again the topic is still the same, how Rome began. The first thing I want to note is that it began with small communities of Latin-speaking shepherds. Now that's a lot to put on one line. I put began communities Lat shepherds. And remember that Lat means Latin. Okay, and the next thing I want to include is that they settled around the 7 hills near the Tiber River. Okay, so I have the word settled, the number 7, hills, Tiber River, again with the water there. And again, always make these outlines yours, your own. Make them something that you will remember when you go to do your writing. The third thing I want to include is that they were successful farmers and traders, and that's an easy one. Then next, the fact that they joined together in an army. Now they did that for 2 reasons, to protect themselves and to invade surrounding villages. But I'm not including to protect. I'm including the word invade because that's how they grew to be an enormous empire, is because they invaded other cities and villages and took over. So I put joined, army, invaded. Put whatever you want that will help you remember that fact if you want to include that fact in your paper. Next, I'm including that the first king was Romulus, and he began to rule in 753 BC. So, 753 BC, first king Romulus. That's kind of easy. Okay, and lastly, I'm going to include that it grew into an enormous empire, and that's easy as well. Now notice that I didn't include anything of the information down here, and why is that? Yeah, it's because most of this is a repeat from the first source text that we read. This is about the legend of Romulus and Remus, which is what that first source text was about. Okay? So, you're going to be gathering facts and notes or notes, and then you're going to combine the notes on this source text with the notes on this source text, picking and choosing. I like this one, this one, this one, but not that one, and I want this one and this one and this one, but not these 2. Pick which ones you want so that your paragraph will have a nice flow to it. So your homework will be to rewrite Fix-It 28, first of all, and then you're going to take notes from your 2 source texts on page 120 and 121. about Rome's beginning. Remember, each line is a note or a fact that you may want to use in your final paragraph. Okay? And your final fused outline is just going to be a normal keyword outline, but you're not going to do this till next week. Your homework is just to take notes from this source text and from this source text and write them down. That's all your homework for this weekend. Okay? So you're going to choose 4 to 6 facts from each source text. And remember, don't copy the facts from this source text that you've already copied from that source text. Okay, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. We'll be doing the fused outline, like I said, next week, and then the paragraph after that. Alright, so that's all I have for you. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you back again on Tuesday. Bye-bye.